He not only didn't make the coffee, he hid all the coffee cups. So the guy comes to work in the morning. It was our officer, our lieutenant. He comes in, hey, there's no coffee, and then there's no cups. He can't find a cup. And he's just, he made it worth it too. This guy got his money's worth out of this officer who just had a baby because he couldn't get that morning cup of coffee.
Attention all units. Stand by for special assignment. Responders, Mo Vassar and Don Roper. You are requested to report to the microphone. This is Firehouse Chronicles. Proceed when ready.
We used to run, try the flame. Now we just let our coffee slow. You wink like you've got secrets only chaos used to know. And I laugh like I believe you, though your stories grow and grow. We used to run, try the flame.
And welcome to the Firehouse Chronicles. I'm Maurice Vassar, retired fire captain, 33 years on the department. And this is Don Roper, retired fire lieutenant, fire instructor, and 33 years on the department. We started together. How are you doing today, Don?
Doing pretty good. It seemed like it was just yesterday, but it's since 1984 that we started our
84.
journey. And obviously, we've experienced a lot of things in our 33 years, and that's a
That's
good
true.
thing.
Yeah, hey, it's good to be able to sit back, reflect, and talk about it. Today, what we were talking about is the unwritten rules in the fire department. They give you a procedures manual with all the rules, but then, man, there are unwritten rules that are just as important as the ones they've put down on paper. And we're going to talk about a few of those rules and how they affected us. And I guess if you're a young firefighter watching this, something to look out for once you enter into a firehouse. Let me give you one. What do you think? Let me give you an unwritten rule.
One of the unwritten rules, I think we just touched on it a little bit when you first come into the fire department, is when it comes to washing the dishes. When you're a rookie,
Yeah.
the veterans, and it even not so, how many years a veteran is, but when you're a rookie, come out right out of drill school, it's an unwritten
Right.
rule that you're in the pan every day.
So true.
Whether
Yes.
you're especially if you're in the double house, whether you're in the engine or the truck, whether the truck is cooking or the engine cooking, the rookies are in the pan. And
And in the pan means washing the dishes, right?
yeah, so washing dishes, cleaning up. Did you experience that yourself?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And you know what? I remember from time to time you get a new guy who felt like, no, I'm not going to be in it. I'm not going to eat with y'all. I'm not going to wash dishes. I just don't want to be involved. And it always went badly for him because it kind of put everybody in a bad mood and made them suspicious that he was a lazy bum. And then other things would start happening to him. Because in that procedures manual, there's not one word. I don't think there's a word mentioned there about dishes. But if you don't take care of that one unwritten rule, it could really adversely affect your entire career.
That is absolutely the truth of the matter. I remember I was the sixth man on truck 31, which wasn't truck 31 then. It was I can
Oh
never.
yeah, truck. Oh man,
It wasn't 18. I always truck 16. That's what it was.
truck 16. That's
16.
exactly what
What
it
it was.
was. Yeah,
It was truck 16, and I had some decent guys to work with, but it was just an
right.
unwritten rule that you come in, and when they get finished eating, you were in the pan. I mean, every
Yeah,
tour, you were in the pan. Whether you traveled or if you were a six-man and detailed out, which after a short period of time, you may have a couple weeks at your regular station, and they would send the other firefighters out for details because they wanted you there with your regular lieutenant. But after that,
right.
you were detailed out, and if you were detailed, you were in the pan. If you were at your home station, you were in the pan, and it just was expected. You jumped in the pan, you beat everybody there, and that would prove that you're not lazy.
Yes, it would. I wish it
Well,
would.
also it proved the other guys were lazy because they didn't wanna do the dishes,
And
wash the
that's what's
pots,
really
pans.
was going on because they made a big deal. It was like I had to constantly prove that I'm not lazy. Now, how I got to be the default that I'm a lazy person that has to prove otherwise, don't even ask me. It's complicated. But I always got to prove I'm not lazy. And I did peep the game that these guys are just coming up with ways for you to do more work. Because actually, you have to keep a lid on it because you do want to get in there, wash the dishes, do whatever, and fit in. But also, you don't want to be blatantly taken advantage of. And
And
some of those guys will take that stuff to an extreme, and they'll have you washing their car and mending their socks if you don't stop and look up and ask a question or two.
yeah, yeah, I never got to that point. I think
Yeah, well,
sometimes they know who to pick on. When you're a grown man. I came in, I was 26 years old with a family, and
I
so
feel you.
so you kind of feel people out. But one of the things that I thought was funny is, and I don't know if that happened to you, but it happened to me when we would sit down for dinner to eat. The rookies would be the last one to get fed.
Right. They
You
had to
remember that?
wait.
You'd be
Yeah.
the last one to
Yeah.
fix your plate.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
first
yeah,
one in the
definitely.
pan, the last one to get to eat,
Yep, definitely.
and that's how it
And
was. But, the funny thing about that was, it was
what?
tradition.
Yeah.
Everybody went through it. They didn't just pick on
Yeah.
you. Everybody who was a rookie went through it because we would even admonish the new guys, "Hey, man, you better jump in the pan, man, because they're gonna regard you as being lazy."
Oh, yeah. Then they'll give you a reputation. Then they'll tell other stations before you even get there what
Absolutely.
their summary of you is. Well, about this one, starting time. What time is starting time at the firehouse when we got started? Well, it was supposed to be 7 a.m., but they had a thing they called minute men. So if you showed up every day at 6:58, 6:59, while you didn't break a rule, it still was like some negativity associated with that. There'd be people talking, and it would actually color how people viewed you and the direction your career was going in. So, unwritten rule, get there earlier than 7 a.m.
Absolutely. What about you? Did you get there early, or were you a minute man?
No, well, like you said, said you were 26 when we got here. I was 27.
Sure.
And no, I didn't. I got there at 6:58 or whatever because that's when I start getting compensated. And all these guys and they're talking. It's like, you know, I understand it because later on in my career, I know just for station functionality, we're going to be better prepared if people get there 10, 15 minutes earlier
Absolutely.
and we can do the switch smoother instead of this last minute running around. I get it, but you get guys trying to force people or, make up rules and try to enforce them. And back then, when we got hired, the clocks weren't universal. People don't realize, like right now, all of our clocks are in sync because they're from the internet. So
Mhm,
we can all look at our phone and we can agree on what the time is.
mhm.
But previous to the internet, your clock on the wall might say,
Or your
uh,
watch may be a
or your
different time.
watch, it may not be in sync. They might have 7:01. You might have 6:59 on your watch. And then there were people in stations I was in that play games with the clock. They change it just so somebody could be late and they could, you know,
Just
mess with them.
I know for me, I normally got to work about quarter till, but I know people for a fact that get to work at 6 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
They just get to work as they said they want to relax their brain,
Right.
and
Just their habit.
I got there about 6:45 every morning. And
Right.
uh, a question, I think I've been late twice in my career. One, I had a flat tire, and another one, it was the changing of the times from daylight saving times,
Okay.
and I got there late that day. Other in my 30 something years, that's the only time I've been late. I've always been
That's
there
pretty
about
good.
until. And one of the things, what I try to emphasize to new recruits or six men or people who work with me is because at 7, if you're there at 7:01, at 7:01, or you're there at 7:02, 7:01, we can have a fire. We can have
That's right.
a EMS run, and we can have a shooting or a stabbing. Now,
Yep.
obviously, with our job, we can call somebody and see if they'll hold over for us. That was a luxury. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, being on time is very important, being punctual. And a lot of people take that for granted. I never did. And then being groomed. Remember when we first came in, you had to have black socks or blue socks, black shoes, not gym shoes. Remember?
Right.
No gym
I
shoes.
remember.
And so and they emphasized being on time. That was emphasis. And
It
so
was huge.
it was
Yeah.
big time huge. And but those are unwritten rules. Like if you look in the procedures manual, the operations manual, the uh, union contract, or if you look in, and then the city has information, procedures that
Right.
you can follow that supersedes some of the things that we do, except the
They
union
sure do.
contract.
They
And
sure
so
do.
none of that is in there. But if you fail to do that, being late and stealing was two of the main things in the fire department that people didn't really tolerate, being late and stealing.
They wouldn't tolerate. In fact, some of the people who were terminated, it would be being late.
Absolutely.
Being late was one of the. I'm not going to say it was worse than absenteeism, but it got more attention.
Sure.
Because if you called in sick and didn't show up, that's one thing. But if you came in there talking, and then, I mean, a little late too, like 7:10, 7:05, you will not last long. That
Especially
just ticked
if you
everybody
don't
off.
notify someone to. Because
Exactly. Don't call in.
we're dependent on the roughnecks. We're dependent on
Right.
each other, the driver, the officer. If you
Yep.
can't get to work on time and no one knows where you're at, we can't cover. We cover for
Exactly.
people. Well, we don't know where they're at. We'll cover for
Right.
them. And then we try to call them at home
Yeah.
and they
You
never
would.
showed up. Now we're in trouble with the district chief.
Right. Now you don't, because if you try to cover somebody, you don't know where they're at.
Exactly.
Then, so you're gonna lie to the chief, lie about the they call it the manpower, how many
Absolutely.
people are on your company, and then the truth comes out because the guy might have got sick, fell asleep,
Yep.
maybe even got in an accident. Now
Yep.
you got to adapt. Then the chief's not gonna like you changing the manpower because it
No.
affects a whole bunch of people. They
Have
got to
you ever
start moving people around.
have you ever had the situation you try to cover for somebody and you have somebody come in for them?
I never had that. No.
Oh, that happened on a plethora of occasions.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't call in and you try to call them, wake up, no. And so you'll call. If you can't stay, you say, hey, can you work for so and so for 12 hours
Right.
until we find out where they're at? And
Right.
then you have an emergency trade. Oh, you've never heard of that? That has
I've heard
definitely,
of it.
that has
I've heard
happened.
of it. Yeah, it can blow up in your face because you end up working all day because nobody can find this guy. And
Absolutely.
before you find out, he's out of town. He
Oh,
thought he had
he's
that
in
day off.
jail.
Right. So, oof.
Ex-
Yeah, that was an unwritten but super serious rule.
Okay.
What about this? Um, where to sit, like for eating your meals, you think you just sit down, but in some firehouses, these guys have been there for years and years and years.
They sit in the
This guy
same
was
place.
sitting down at this table,
In the
when you
same
were in
place.
diapers,
Yep.
same place.
Yep.
And now you come in here and flop down right in his seat. Now that does seem petty, but it's important.
It's
It's really
important.
just a respect thing.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
Watch where you
I've
sit
been
at.
to that occasion.
Yeah.
People sitting at, the truck may have a table and the engine may have a table.
Yeah, right. They
You know
sure
what I
did.
mean? And you sit in the
Right.
wrong location and they wear you out. This new kid is in my spot. He got 4 seconds on the job, but he's taking my spot. What do you think you are doing? All kinds of stuff, man.
They would.
That is the
That
truth too.
that how much time you got in stuff, boy. They used to all day
Hey, guess
long.
what? We
Get
all
some
used it.
time in.
We all
We did.
used it too, man. It wasn't just somebody else. I was guilty of it. And it's a great point to just rib somebody all day long, man. That was the truth.
Get some time in, kid. I got more time on the
On the toilet than you got in the fire
toilet.
department.
They didn't say toilet. They use a lot of
Oh,
use a
they
lot of
use a lot of.
profanity in the
Oh,
firehouse.
absolutely.
A lot of profanity.
What about this one here? When you first came in, uh, we talked about this briefly. What about the remote control?
Oh, yeah. Don't touch it. It's not yours.
You
Get some
can't even
time
turn the
in.
TV on, man. You don't get
Don't
the
even
remote.
look at it. You said that right. Sit quietly in the corner.
That's the truth,
Woo!
man.
Because and then you get a bold kid every now and then. He's gonna come in and grab it and sit down. All that's gonna happen is the officer gonna come in and give you a work assignment.
Yep.
Hey kid, we need somebody to wash down
That's
the
fire
apparatus
drill.
floor. Get out there and do this or that. So you're not gonna win, because this,
Plus, you're new.
you're new. Come on, go with the
You're not afraid, but I mean, you don't want to step on anybody's toes. You just want to fit
no,
in. You know what I mean?
right?
And you're new, and you got guys there older,
Yeah,
and so you kind of just want to fit in. You don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers. So I mean,
you
you follow the
shouldn't.
program, and that program tradition, it just lasts on and on and
And
on.
on and on.
And some people
Some of it,
took took it way out of
they
proportion.
did. It took it to an extreme.
Exactly.
They used it. It was almost like hazing, like at colleges, joining for a fraternity or something, and they make you do all kind of absurd things. They didn't go that far, but they had that kind of mentality, and it was like I had to go through it, so you're gonna go through it too, kid. So they wind up doing like the same stupid stuff somebody did to them. They have to make sure they did it to somebody else. They're like it then it never ends. It's just
And then what about this one here? The night watchman has to make the coffee.
woo. Oh yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
saw wars over that. I saw wars over that. Really.
Oh,
It
big
all
time.
went
I
it
had a
went
problem with
south
that
over
big
that.
time. Plus, I
Yeah.
didn't drink coffee.
Right.
I never drink coffee in the
Right.
firehouse. And so I remember at the 19s, a lieutenant on the truck. He was another lieutenant. But in the
Right.
morning time, the night watchman, he would come in, man, he would pitch a fit if the coffee wasn't made.
Yep. They'd have a baby over
And
that.
I would wear him out. I said, I don't drink coffee. I don't care if you drink it or not. Your responsibility is to make coffee in the morning.
I know, right. And where's that at in the let's see
It's
that
not,
in writing.
it's not
Right.
written anywhere.
That's an unwritten rule big
Hey,
time.
man, that coffee was serious business. They got a
They-
coffee?
they be-
Man.
we had a guy and a certain relative of mine, and we're at the firehouse at the 31s, and we had a certain officer who was all over his coffee, had to have it. So this guy, he's like, how they say working on people purposely, which means purposely annoying someone.
Yep.
He not only didn't make the coffee, he hid all the coffee cups. So the guy comes to work in the morning. It was our officer, our lieutenant. You know him too. And he comes in, hey, there's no coffee, and then there's no cups. He can't find a cup. And he's just, he made it worth it too. This guy got his money's worth out of this officer who just had a baby because he couldn't get that morning
I
cup
bet
of
he
coffee.
worked on him all day long.
He did.
You know the unwritten rule. If you tell somebody you don't like green beans or green peas,
Oh,
guess
you
what
know
you
what
get?
you
They gonna get
definitely
all the time.
every time. Oh, I hate peas. Oh, you hate peas, kid? Okay. They're gonna have peas that night.
That's the truth.
Stupid.
You
I
got any
never-
more?
Yeah. That did remind me of one where you said about the what we were just talking about
Coffee. Coffee.
about the coffee. That was the one that really got me. One that got me too was how many inspections. Because they would send you out inspecting as part of your job, especially as a new firefighter, you might be the guy out. So when they sent me out, I'm going to just go out and get my inspections. And I was formerly a meter reader. So, we read a whole lot of meters in a day. So I go out, I'm going to knock down 30, 40 inspections. No problem. Come to find out, that's not the way they do things. They pull me to the side and say, you're supposed to get like 8 of them, between 8 and 10. Because it's making everybody look bad.
Exactly.
And that's certainly not in writing anywhere. But it was a
no.
real rule.
Oh, I remember that. Remember they took you out inspecting, the first time and
Right.
showed you what to look for. And they would purposely say, hey, this is what you do. Get about 8 or 10 inspections.
Right.
Being a new kid, you were overzealous.
Right.
And they didn't know you put them on the side. They don't do it any much today, but they put them on the side and keep them for the whole month.
Oh, yeah, they would. They put them in the bank. We can't
Put
even
them in
talk
the
about
bank.
the kind of the scams. Yeah, guys would do that. Guys would do
I'm
that.
gonna tell you a story about inspecting that Rick Maley, the past the former Rick Maley, rest his soul. He told me
Right,
one of the guys would go out inspecting when it was his driver. He would go out
right,
inspecting, and so he said when he came back, he had plenty of inspections, but Rick knew he
okay,
didn't do them, right? So he said
right.
he didn't have any. He didn't go out. He asked him, "Well, when did you get to inspection?" This is what he said. He said, "What does that mean?" He grabbed him out of the air.
That sounds like falsification of documents.
He said he grabbed him out. He got him from out of the air, and so. But that just goes to show you that's how guys did the inspections back
They
in the
did,
day.
they
And
did.
so
That
I think
inspecting thing. We had a guy go out. So he goes out, and I'm the lieutenant, and I'm at the 31s, and there's a chief there, a tough chief. So he's one of my guys. He goes out inspecting, right? So the
uh-huh.
chief, where's such and such at? I'm like, Chief, he went out inspecting. Okay. Well, right when we're talking about it in the chief's office, this guy comes in the back door of the firehouse at the 31s, and the chief hears him and opens the door real quick and catches dude in his street clothes. He got like a suit on. He went to a wedding. And oh boy, he just got cold busted. I mean, he got lax. If you're gonna do that, at least change clothes before you
Absolutely.
get back to the firehouse. But
What
I guess he
happened
had
to
done
him?
it. Well, the chief, like I said, was a tough guy, but he wasn't as tough as he said he was.
Oh,
He
sure.
argued at me a lot and said a lot, but he actually didn't do anything because he really could have. He could have
Oh, he
got
could have
dude some
had him,
serious trouble for that.
definitely. I got one for you. What about when you become driver? And this is an unwritten rule, but I tell all the new drivers, I told my nephew about it too. If you are become a driver, or if you're a second man, but especially when you become a new driver, wash the
Right.
apparatus every day.
You know what? That's the truth,
Rain,
man.
sleet, or snow,
Don't talk about it, just do it.
just do it. And they will
Right.
say you're the hardest working
They
person in
will.
the fire department. But if you don't, you can know everything else, your streets, the
Exactly.
tools. But
Definitely.
if you don't wash that apparatus once a day,
Right.
you're the
You're a
laziest
piece of
man in the
crap.
fire department.
Exactly.
That's an
And they'll
unwritten rule.
that's an unwritten rule because I knew guys, just like you said, they washed it. They were a piece of crap driver. They didn't know the streets, they didn't do anything else right. But they washed it every morning and
Yep,
they had a great reputation.
yep,
And the reverse is true. You
it's
could be a
true.
great driver. If you don't wash that apparatus, they're like, he's a lazy piece of crap. He's a lazy piece of crap. Won't even wash the apparatus.
It's
I
the
don't know why I
truth,
use that
man.
phrase.
It is the truth.
It
Oh,
is.
the
Unwritten rule.
unwritten rule. What? Uh, like for instance, like a prime example, like shoveling the snow.
Oh man.
That is not
Get
written.
out there.
It's not written
It's
anywhere.
not.
In fact,
It's not.
Captain Hines, God's rest his soul,
Right.
he refused to do it. He said, if we don't have to do the snow, they have snow plows and trucks to come do our snow. He stopped doing it. And the whole fire station didn't have to do it.
Good deal. Because that was a big deal.
Big deal, especially
When
when
as
it
soon as
snowed
it started
heavily.
snowing, exactly. They want you out there. And then sometimes it'd be like, we slept overnight, it snowed.
Right.
So if there's somebody waking you up at 6 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
and you
Shovel
got
the
to make
snow.
sure it's shoveled before the next unit comes in.
Yep.
We want this apron shovel. Because then you start looking like you all are lazy pieces of crap
Yep.
because there's snow built up. Nobody did anything. Everybody's sitting around. So
The
yeah,
other
that was.
oncoming unit's gonna be mad,
They are. They are.
but I'll be mad too when the other units didn't shovel the snow and it's been out there all morning and they
Yeah.
didn't get up at 6 o'clock and shovel the snow.
That was a thing. And I don't, like you said, I don't think there's nothing in the written, that's debatable whether we should be shoveling snow. There was
It's
a
not,
lot of stuff like that
yeah,
that
it's
was
not written, but
debatable.
we had to do
Right.
it. You know what
Right.
I
And we
mean?
needed it done. I mean, it was
Yeah,
important.
yeah,
But
definitely.
the guys always, they would get fanatical with stuff like, yeah, you don't want the fire engine blocked by snow. So, but then sometimes it'd be like just a little smattering of snow, some flurries. and they make a big federal case out of that, and everybody's got to get up, spread salt, and then it's like a competition. Everybody looking at each other. I'm working harder than you. A lot of what we did was like to look good to each other. That
Oh,
was a
no doubt.
big motivation.
Especially like uh our schedule for cleaning. Like
Right,
at the 32s, the laundry day was on a Sunday, the floor day was on a Saturday, or sometimes it was vice
right,
versa. I
right.
think floor day was on a Sunday and laundry day was on
Oh,
a Sunday
Lord.
too. But windows was on Thursday, hallway steps,
Yeah.
light
Oh
bulb day.
boy.
Remember light bulb day?
Yeah, I remember that. Like
The
firefighter
guy, those
janitors
were
is
the
what they made
captain's
out
room.
of.
I got one for you. What about kitchen day?
Woo! Kitchen day. Yeah,
Because
I
then that
remember.
way you clean all the refrigerators out. You should clean
Right.
the cabinets out. The whole
Yeah.
9 yards. Make sure you clean the stove. I mean, you did the whole 9 yards
Oh
on
man.
kitchen day. And this is a funny thing. One captain that we had, he will make the kitchen day his Kelly day. No joke.
You wanna be there.
What about
I'm
okay?
with
What
I'm
about
ready to.
like in the summertime? You had to do the floors.
Oh
You had
man.
to strip the floors and
I
wax the
remember.
floor. You remember those?
Oh yeah. Had to get some stripper from Central Stores
That's
or
not written in
whatever.
the manuals
Oh,
anywhere.
nowhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah,
People used to complain, "Why are we doing that? This is our
right.
firehouse, but why should we have to strip and wax the floors?"
Yeah.
And
I
that was
know
it.
it was
And then they only had two strippers in the district.
right. Yeah, you have to go get one or
Captain
try to
Bailey
find it. Who has it?
he bought our own stripper and our own wax out of the house fund.
Uh.
Because we'd have to wait for somebody, for somebody to finish it to get started. Because somebody could, say the 20s is at their district, they're going to do their floors first. Now we got to
Right.
wait for the last minute in the dead hot of summer to do it. He would buy,
Spring
he
cleaning.
would buy the spring cleaning. He would buy a stripper, and we have our separate, floor.
Well, you made me remember why I'm so glad I'm retired. Because boy, that stripping the floors
That
and that
was a
spring
pain in the
cleaning
butt,
stuff.
bro.
Oh my God, it was a pain in the neck. And then if it's not done, it's like a blight. It's like a black eye for the whole firehouse.
It
Like
is, man.
you're all pieces of
And the
crap. You don't
district
even do.
used to come in and examine it. He used to come
He
in.
would.
You
He
remember when they
would.
used to come in and do uniforms in your locker?
I remember. No, they didn't do it like they were supposed to, but they did it a few times. They're
Yeah.
right. Come look in your locker. And
Make sure you
supposed
have
to have
enough.
an extra uniform and all of that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They probably, you know what, they would have did themselves well to be even a little bit more strict with that.
Yes.
That was actually a good thing
It was.
to
I
make sure everybody
enjoyed that.
got their yeah, make
Have
their
all the
stuff
gear that they
together.
need, and they would check
Right.
your gear because we only had one set
Yeah.
of gear before when we first
Right.
started, and then they gave
Yeah.
us a second set. But they would check, make sure you got white shirts, your
Right.
jackets, everything. Because when I tell you what happened when Chief Wright was the chief when Oscar died, everybody we had to go down to central stores to get all new uniforms, make sure we are all clean and ready to go.
Right.
Because a lot of guys couldn't even fit their pants.
Right. And they didn't have their class A's.
Yeah, they
Of,
didn't have it, and
people
they
be
couldn't
trying to
fit them.
borrow. Yeah, and
Yeah,
they couldn't fit them, when the time comes. So yeah, that was yeah, they could have emphasized that even more because guys put on weight and you can always get new uniforms, but you have to go through the process
yeah,
to get, you know, a larger uniform or whatever you need.
yeah.
There's a lot of unwritten rules, Don. It's
Yes,
been
sir.
about 27 minutes of
Yes, sir.
unwritten rules. I'm gonna package this up, make it look good for the public.
Yep.
It's been fun.
It's been fun. It's been funny just talking about that. Reminiscing about the past. That's great. So I
It
think it was
is, man.
a great episode.
Yeah. And I'm so glad I'm retired now. Thanks for reminding me. Well,
Me
I'm
too,
so
brother.
happy.
Me too. Only thing I
All
miss
right.
about that is nothing. All right,
Yeah.
man. Well,
Leave a
enjoy.
comment in the messages. Give them your regular message there, Don.
My message is, subscribe, like, and hit that notification button. And if you got a comment, if you got a story, we've got a lot of people waiting in line for stories, but we want to listen to yours and experiences. So if you got that, let's call us and email us, and we'll get you on.
That's what I'm talking about. I'll see you next time.
All right, bro. Later.